AC Tranter chip leader a little above 40 blinds. Art and Phil hanging in the 20 big blind zone, so these stack sizes could change hands very quickly.
Quick fold by Art, and now JC Tran with King 4 of hearts, just calling.
Check.
Phil's certainly not going to raise with the 7 deuce. And here's the flop. Oh my goodness, 3 of a kind, just like that, 3 deuces for Hellmuth.
Phil thrilled to see that JC is firing out a bet here.
Certainly is. 240. Phil just okie dokie. I'm just going to call, trying to disguise the strength. 8 of hearts on the turn. JC might be wising up. He checks.
Check.
Check, check. Art. A 6. JC with just king high. He is going to check again.
500.
Just king high on the river. I would be surprised if he pays this off. The flush draw got there. Not a lot in the way of bluffs that Phil can get to the river like this with. If he had, a 10 high or a 7 high or something, why wouldn't he just bet the turn? Or why would he call the flop to begin with? So I expect JC to fold here, even though he's fairly high up in his range with king high.
But, there's another part of it is that you want to be right. Maybe I can make this call and see how Phil's going to react to it. So he does make the call.
It's always having it, Phil. Always having it.
Things turning around for Phil Hellmuth, the poker brat. 3 players remaining. Puts the coat on, wins a pot. That coat's not coming off for a while.
Oh, no. He's from Alabama. He's not used to these cool, breezy Vegas temperatures, I guess.
This time, Brent makes a quick fold. Now Steve Sung with 7 deuce.
What is Steve doing? Why are you entering pots voluntarily with 7-2 offsuit into a chip leader who hates folding?
Well, he's been very tight lately. He thinks there's an opportunity to perhaps bluff.
I think I can do that, Steve-O. We got 125.
The thing about bluffing is we want to have bluffs that can make hands. If we raise 7-6 offsuit here, we're bluffing, but 7-6 offsuit can make a hand, right?
Well, I've seen 7 deuce work out sometimes. Here we go. Let's see if it does. King, queen, 6. It doesn't here. Frank getting a piece of that with the queens. He's going to check.
Oh, I almost drank without you.
And not a bad flop for Steve to stab at here. You know that Frank is calling with almost everything out of the big blind, and he hasn't done anything that crazy post-flop. He just puts in money when he has good stuff. So I like this continuation bet from Steve.
Well, he's betting 150.
Frank will make a quick and confident call.
I can do that, Steve. How you feeling? Are you feeling froggy?
We'll say that Frank definitely has some timing tells. You can tell when he's really sure he needs to continue and when he's unsure he needs to continue. And that 9 of hearts is a better card for Frank's range than Steve.
Less drink.
Frank could definitely have Jack 10. He can have the hearts. He can have King 9 and Queen 9.
Steve has guts, though. Look at this. He's getting more betting chips out. He's not going to slow down. He's going to put it in.
Yeah.
Looks like 375.
This is
6.
very troublesome. I mean, on top of Frank having all the good hands in his range, a lot of the hands that he has that are a pair also have a gut shot. Whether you have King 10, King Jack, Queen 10, 9 10, all of those hands have just enough to continue here, so this bluff is really not going to work very often.
He's going to take more time. Don't forget, Steve hasn't played many pots lately, so his perception is he might have King Ace. He might be playing way behind. Steve could have a big heart there as well, so
Sure.
to call this, and he is going to call it, is a lot of speculation.
And we did see some timing uncertainty from Frank there.
What's going to happen on the river?
And he rivers the straight. Nice check from Frank. A lot of guys stick out a blocking bet there, hoping to make sure they get value, or they're worried about running into a flush. Frank just checks it over to Steve, and he's going to let him hang himself. Oh, no. Oh, Steve. What are you saying you have? You don't even have a heart blocker. This is, I don't know how to describe it other than this is lighting money on fire. This whole hand has been hard to watch, Vince, because Steve has played a great final table. He's been solid and patient, and he's observant, and all of a sudden he just decides to light his stack on fire. And even worse, he's second in chips with 2 guys solidly behind him. So he, above all, should not be taking any unnecessary gambles. So I don't know what to say about this hand anymore.
Well, he's bet 700,000. And Frank is thinking about this. Now, Frank has the straight.
Let me look again.
And as you can see, Steve definitely has an image for a bluff because Frank is having trouble making the call with the straight here. He's so worried about a flush, and he knows Steve has played tight. So I get where Steve is coming from here, but man, you got to do a better job of hand selection.
Going to take more time. Steve's perception has been so tight, he might get away with this. Frank, and he would be destroying this table if he should win this, if he should make this call, and he's going to do it!
There it is, and so Steve Sung has imploded his chance at getting second and moving up the ladder. He's going to be our clear short stack now, and Frank improves upon his commanding chip lead. This is incredible.
Nicely played by Frank.
You see that? Good call.
We're giving away $50 to the first 100 people who sign up on WPTglobal.com. It's real easy. Step 1, go to WPTglobal.com. Step 2, use bonus code YT78. Step 3, deposit at least $1. Act quickly. It's only for the first 100 people who sign up.
We're seeing a little bit of WPT history here tonight. Never in 10 seasons have it come down to two amateur players who play at a local casino fighting it out for a WPT title in that casino.
You're right. And tonight, they're both wearing red. A lot in common.
Well, it's just an amazing story. These guys are going to take home over $1.5 million between them.
And as you can see, Moon Kim is the chip leader with 6.2 million. 4.6 for Habib. And he's going up to 10,000, 50, and 100. Here we go.
Action on Moon. Going to raise the first pot up to 225,000 with the Queen 7 of diamonds.
Habib with a junky little 7 deuce offsuit. See if he gets tricky on us here. He's getting chips out. Oh boy.
He is going to 3-bet it and re-raise here with the worst 2-card starting hand you can have and hold them.
Makes it a $500,000 to go, but the jeweler says not so fast.
Hope he's going to look him up. So here we go. One guy with a Queen 7, the other with a 7 deuce. Flop comes Jack, 8-6, no help to either player. The continuation bet could well win this pot for Habib if he can pull the trigger, but if you're going to re-raise with 7 deuce before the flop, surely you're going to bet on the flop. And indeed, he's doing it. 500,000, and he takes down the pot and shows the 7 deuce to his buddy. I'm not sure how long you're going to remain friends.
Good job, man.
I mix it up.
Good bluff.
Keep you guessing. Next time I might have aces.
Yeah.
You know, I would never buy a house from this real estate guy. He's just too good.
Action folded around here to Michael Singh in the small blind. He'll limp in. Olivier says run it. And round 2 between these gentlemen.
It's pretty friendly for Olivier to just check behind there. He knows Mike is playing any 2 cards.
Oh, both players hit the flop. Top pair for Michael, middle pair for Olivier, but the action goes check, check, and now Michael improves to 2 pair on the turn and bets 2,000.
The problem for Olivier here is I think he checked that flop trying to induce bluffs from Mike, so I don't believe he's going to get away here.
Well, he's made the call on the turn and now an ace on the river. Neither of the flush draws on the board on the turn came through. Michael bets 4,000.
Again, a larger bet into a pot of about 5,300 here, so his bet sizing does reflect his strength so far.
Oh, and Olivier's gonna pay off.
You got it.
That smile seems to have evaporated a little.
We're giving away $50 to the first 100 people who sign up on WPTglobal.com. It's real easy. Step 1, go to WPTglobal.com. Step 2, use bonus code YT78. Step 3, deposit at least $1. Act quickly. It's only for the first 100 people who sign up.
And her night has been up and down. She came into this as second chip leader, and she's had flurries of good hands and good plays, and then it goes the other way. And Nick Petrangelo with a 9-5 is going to stick around.
Both Nick and Alex playing quite loose out of their big blind so far at this final table.
Well, the flop's a jack 6-5, so nice for Maria.
Yeah, great flop for Maria here, considering Nick is connected in such a way that he'll keep investing chips in this pot. Maria has a strong enough hand that on many runouts, she should just bet all 3 streets. What's she gonna start with here? 80,000.
Yep. Now they all respect this Nick Petrangelo. In their interviews, they all said what a great player. He's the toughest player at the table.
Yeah, Nick, an incredibly hardworking and successful guy. Not very flashy at the table, but when we see his cards, we realize just how in tune he is with what's going on. 3 of diamonds on the turn. Doesn't change much about this board texture. But Nick, thinking this over, we've seen him do some leading on the turn after his opponent bet the flop, and that's what he's going to do here. He bets about 25% pot. It's an interesting play because it prevents Maria from checking back and realizing 6 outs or more equity going to the river, and it also prices him into getting to the river himself. Were he to check, I think Maria would bet more like 200,000. Instead, he pays 90,000 to see this river and blocks his opponent from seeing 6 outs. But this time, Maria with top pair in the lead, but not happy to see a 7 of spades on the river that completes both the flop flush draw and 4 to a straight, so she'll check back.
Yeah, they go check, check. Maria's going to be delighted. She will take that pot from a man she really respects, and that is Nick, and they're on the rail. Maria himself as one of the elite players. He has quite a reputation already. Now Matas,
calling out of the small blind with Jack 10 of hearts. Darren checks a 3-2 offsuit. And we see a flop of 10-5-3. So a good flop for both players here, but particularly Matas with top pair.
yep, who didn't raise before the flop, and now he's going to trap again. And Darren's going to bet his little 3s. 200.
Matas will check call here. I'm sure he would mix in some check raises, but just a call this time.
The king on the turn is going to change things up. There's 3 spades out there now, and Matas not as confident. Checks.
King of spades should slow Darren down. Not a good card for him, and he will check behind.
9 on the river. Now Matas,
575.
maybe he's getting confident again. 575.
These guys played 3-handed at last year's Tournament of Champions final table. Now running it back at the LAPC final table, and Darren in another spot against the man who knocked him out at their last final table together. Darren wondering whether Matas has enough bluffs here that he needs to call with any pair on the river.
Matas wasn't going to play this tournament. Then he told his fiancée, Greta, I got a feeling great things are going to happen. I'm going to win this. And he might be right. Darren says, is this guy picking my pocket? Finally, he does the right thing. Matas Cimbolas, youngest player at the table, taking this one down.
We're giving away $50 to the first 100 people who sign up on WPTglobal.com. It's real easy. Step 1, go to WPTglobal.com. Step 2, use bonus code YT78. Step 3, deposit at least $1. Act quickly. It's only for the first 100 people who sign up.
Mackey's got to appreciate the fact that Muckles brought his dog to the final.
Well, Mackey this time has a pair of jacks, has raised. Muckle has folded. Eric, though, with a 10-8, will stick around.
Now flop is 7-6-5, 2 spades. As you can see, Eric with the open-end straight draw checks. And James bet 600,000.
1.4.
The check raise with the open-end straight draw to 1.4 million by Eric. And you're fearful your opponent's got 2 pair. might have flopped a straight, but I just don't see how you get away from jacks here. At least not yet.
Nope, he's going to call that. And the clothing man is praying for a straight. Not to happen there. 6 pairs the board.
Well, Vince, once you start bluffing, you almost have to continue bluffing if you want to win the pot.
950.
That's what Eric is going to try to do here. 950,000 is the bet. But as I said, I don't see James going anywhere with a big overpair like this, and he's not. He has made the call.
Last card coming up. It's a queen of spades.
Now, both players might be afraid their opponent made a flush, but...
Eric checks.
Well, Eric is just waving the white flag, giving this pot up.
James is going to check.
Mackey's going to check as well.
Well, he just didn't want to get check raised out of this pot. Turns up the jack's going to win it with him. I was showing the other one.
There you go. Pat Lyons taking down that pot, and now with that pot, he becomes the new chip leader. And the blinds are going up to 50 and 100 with a $10,000 ante. Pat Lyons folds Ben out as well.
So battle of the blinds here. Todd's got ace high in the small blind. And just calls, does not raise with it. And Pesh chooses not to raise with the king 8 of clubs, so we're going to have a flop here.
Flops
Wow.
an ace, ace 7, 3 of a kind for Todd
Well,
Peterson.
you're going to see a lot of fireworks here, Vince. Todd is going to bet, but Pesh is not going to put him on an ace because he didn't raise pre-flop. And even if he does, he's got the nut flush draw.
Todd's bet the 150 with 3 of a kind. Pesh with the 4 flush makes the call. Let's see if Pesh can hit his club. Nope, not there.
5 of spade. Now Todd thinking the guy might have 2 sevens. Going to call me again, so he's going to bet again. This time 450,000.
And Pesh is going to make this call, hoping to hit a club. Down to the river we go. And it is not a club, it's actually a 4, which gives Todd a full house, of course.
Todd feeling a lot better about his hand now. He felt pretty good about it. Now he feels really good about it. And this time he's going to bet 1.9 million into a pot that has 1.4 million in it. So he's trying to make it look like he's bluffing with aces full.
Well, a disappointment for Pesh on this hand. Just couldn't quite get there, and he finally has to muck the hand.
Whatever you do, don't show the ace. No matter what, don't show the ace.
Well, Muckle, very intelligent player, running good, playing good. There you see his wife Alexis, his dog Bandit, in the house watching him tonight.
And what a rush he's been on.
Not many guys bring their dogs to the final table, Vince. You gotta love it.
All right, James Mackey's raised with king 6. Muckle out, Eric calling with king 9. Here we go.
Here comes a flop. Queen Jack 5 with 2 diamonds. This gives Mackey the flush draw.
Eric checks.
Eric has the gut shot straight draw. And the best hand at the moment, but Mackey has the flush draw.
And yep, he's betting 700 grand. Eric not going anywhere, he's calling.
Now a 9 comes off, so this gives Eric 2 9s as well as a straight draw. And it goes check, check. And now Eric's got to be feeling good about the 9s. Now the board pairs jacks.
So no flush for Mackey.
Eric
6.
is going to bet 600,000 here, thinking his jacks and 9s are the best hand, which indeed they are. So all of a sudden the flush draw evaporates into nothing. As will his chips if he makes this call. But he doesn't. He lays it down. So James Mackey, known as Mig, goes out.
You're so disciplined, I swear. You know, I know I have your number today, but you know how much the minimum you lose? I swear to God, it's not a joke. You'll see it. It's like you're losing the minimum every time. Even if it's costing you, but you're losing the minimum. It's amazing.
Definitely a form of respect. You tell your opponent every time I beat you, I only won the minimum of it.
Yeah,